slight technical mishap. Hold on one second. Pulling up the file so I can say the thing I want to say. Previously in X-Men, Orphan, Thief, Goddess, Mutant, Sister, Hero, Leader. Stripped of her superpowers and at her most vulnerable, Storm began to recuperate in the refuge of the mutant inventor, Forge. Then she discovered that Forge himself played a role, albeit unintentional, in the assault that left her powerless, a mere human being. And that betrayal shattered what appeared to be a blossoming and deeply personal relationship between the two mutants. Loss on top of loss, pain on top of pain. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of 7 Comics. Welcome to episode 107 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic as we take a look at Uncanny X-Men 187 by writer Chris Claremont, penciler John Romita Jr., and inker Dan Green, cover date of November 1984. Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Things are running a little hot around here, so I'm playing catch up at the moment. But everything is good.
I want to say a very warm welcome and shout out to all our new fans of the show in the Bordeaux region of France. We are now the third highest rated X-Men show in the Angoulême vicinity after our presence there. So thanks so much. Number 3, moving up the charts, Angoulême.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The amount of love the X-Men get in Angoulême, France it's high. It's big stuff. So we're really happy to ride that wave.
No kids games here. Okay?
Oh no, it's serious stuff. But yeah, I was thinking, Chris, maybe do you want to do an episode all unto itself at another point in time, like the way we used to do Tea Time, but maybe just do a focus on just for people who are interested in hearing about that kind of thing. Maybe sure. One of the afternoons or evenings another time when we not a Tuesday night. We'll talk a little bit about Angoulême then. But all that being said, we had a great time.
Yeah,
France was good to us. Yeah, we met a lot of great Canadians when we were there, which was maybe not what I was expecting. Let me specify there. I was expecting the Canadians I would meet would be great because, Canadians. But I wasn't expecting to come away with such a warm sense of camaraderie for our fellow Canadians after the events of Angoulême. Is that fair to say for you as well?
Yeah, it was a close group by the end of it, I think, and kind of sad to see people go. They're kind of 5 days of working and chatting and hanging out and all the things that the festival brought. I think by the end of it we were a close group. So it was pretty special.
There you go. I feel the same way. Bonsoir, mes amis. This is Chuck. Bonsoir, Chuck. I hope you are doing well.
Bonsoir.
Nice to see you.
Felt a little bit at the end of it like summer camp. Like we all were kind of the first day you're getting to know each other. You're kind of sussing each other out by dinner. It's like, I'll see you next summer, I guess. Go back to your little cities. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it felt like that for me as well. And just for anyone who, again, is watching this who thinks or thought we were at a comic convention, it wasn't that at all, as it turned out. It was much more of us being part of an economic push. How would you even describe a cultural push from the Canadian embassy to export Canadian books to the European market, and we were sort of examples of the kinds of products that that get produced in Canada, and we were representing. We were there to be part of a team of representatives from coast to coast, which was incredible.
And we did sell some comics, and we did do a bunch of signings, which was great because the signings, if we're talking like Comic-Con relatable experiences, being across the table and meeting people and having conversations and trying to figure things out in our understanding of the French language was a lot of fun.
Yes, I greatly enjoyed hearing you give the descriptions of our books in French off the cuff, and then like you got into a rhythm with it, and it was wildly entertaining. Your French is wonderful. Your accent is so Anglo. I love it, and you're very genuine. So I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah, we have some great stories from our experience. You and I got to spend some awesome quality time together, and it was a very enjoyable experience. And if I ever got to do it again, I would jump at the opportunity.
Agreed.
Coming up on February 17th, I will be at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario. And if I'm skipping ahead of dates, please let me know. March 15th through 17th, we'll be at Toronto Comic Con, which is a fan expo event, but named Toronto Comic Con at the Metro Toronto Convention Center here in lovely Toronto, Ontario. And you're doing an event for what library is it again? Is it Halton?
April 27th, the Halton Hills Public Library System, which is Georgetown and Milton area, just outside of Toronto. So I'll be there on Saturday, April 27th, as part of their Library Fan Fest. Fun.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I think there are going to be some more things coming up on our radar, even for the next few months. But it's fun how these things have popped up in the last few weeks, right? Like, kind of come together.
Yeah.
Right? There was something January, something February, March, April, and hopefully we can announce some things for May. And then, of course, in June, we'll be at Geek Fest in Deep River, Ontario, which I can't wait for. So there's more to come, constantly more to come. That's very cool. Today, I'm reading X-Men 187, pardon me, in a direct comic store version, not with the barcode scanning, which would represent something off the newsstand. This would be one sold directly to comic stores. But I also have my handy Essential X-Men Volume 5. And man, what a phone book tome that is. It's just all amazing black and white line art. But a good compliment to if you get a chance to have this, to see it the other way, when the art is spectacular, like it was last issue.
Like
How
it
are
was
you reading
last
this, Chris?
I'm reading this The Magic of DVD-ROM. The original scans into a PDF from the original comic books, mid-aughts, 2005 or whatever. So that's how we're reading it tonight.
Yeah, it's I was chatting a little tiny bit with the Cut Man, David Cutler, about this cover and how he was mentioning, I think, on Instagram or Facebook, how much he disliked this cover. Saw it in newsstands, and I have to agree. Just like the drawing that's there of Storm turning into this thing. Of all the angles to choose, this is like the most direct and uninspired one. You know, like if it's, let's say you're under and she's like, morphing up into it in some dramatic way, but this is the least inspiring, like the least inspired art in terms of a transformation. You think about what amazing things artists have done in the last 30, 40 years with like transformative scenes. This does not feel like one of them. And nor does that background color do anything to help the mood of this. Like this feels like it's a summer day. And I really don't, and I've got no idea what that dude hiding under the arm is on the left-hand side of the cover. Like it's this weird kind of hobgoblin type guy. I don't get it at all. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, but this cover, this would not have been a cover that would have made me want to read this comic as a kid.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It doesn't seem very clear at all about what this thing is or what it is not. And even if I kind of knew what it was, it's a really strange drawing. It seems very kind of just like, no, I'm not sure it's working for me either.
David says that monster is spitting storms. Yeah,
Mhm.
description of it doesn't help. Yeah, it's all weird. Chuck says it's no X-Men 165 cover, and I gotta like now remind myself which one is 165.
Is
Yeah, I
that
have
the
to,
storm turning into the? Because that's kind of is that storm turning to the brood?
it is. No, it is. Yes, it is. It's exactly by Paul Smith, which was a
Yeah,
very like simple composition. Right? 3 images, one of her as Storm, one of her
yeah.
halfway, and one of her as the Brood. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's there. You go,
I,
Chuck. You're
I
absolutely
had
right.
that same vibe too when I saw this. I'm like, oh, it's another storm transformation cover. But agreed, the one previous 165 is just so much more appealing.
David adds, meat. Storm's dreaming of a nice pile of Christmas meat. Yeah, it's like the thing that's in her head. It is really weird.
Mhm.
Hey guys, this is Gary Shipman Comics. How are you doing, Gary Shipman? Hope you're well. And have you read this one before? Because this falls in that gap of stuff that I was able to collect later on as a kid and stuff that I was reading monthly. I wasn't monthly reading X-Men yet at this point in 1984. I come on in about one more year, and then I'm reading from then on for a good bunch of years until I discovered girls. So we could chart it month by month. But anyway, yeah, issue 187. I'm excited to read this one for the first time. The same as you, I think, Chris.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh yeah.
most
Okay,
definitely.
then let's dive into this bad boy.
All right.
Christmas meat.
Meat blob.
Wraith kill. So I did not explain in the preamble about the Dire Wraiths, about Forge having a weapon from Rom, the Space Knight, and the whole trying to zap Rogue to remove Rogue's powers because of some shadow government group. All that stuff I think is very convoluted, and it takes away from the Storm narrative, which I think is the focus, at least for me personally. But there's going to be some monsters, some aliens that want to kill a bunch of people, and the X-Men are going to get caught in the middle, of course. David says this must have been the height of the series' regular sales because there really are 5 of these in every back issue bin. Yeah, I mean, we know the series was pumping out sometimes 200,000 copies a month. It was a real huge seller. So lots of back issues of
And
this one.
and as we get to this with the dire wraiths and wraith kill and the image on the cover and its connection to the previous issue, maybe remind those out there, the wraith, the dire straits, the dire wraiths, money for nothing. Dire Wraiths storyline is a ROM storyline. Is that where it originates, and then it crosses over into these books?
Yes.
Okay, ROM Space Knight ROM, right?
Yes, not Royal Ontario Museum ROM, but
Not
Space Knight.
money for nothing ROM.
No, the ROM being, of course, a licensed comic, right? There's a toy product called ROM
Right.
Space Knight, and it is not the coolest looking toy of all time. And Marvel licensed the property to make a comic, and so they did not own ROM. And that's one of the reasons we haven't seen a lot of ROM of late, but there is a bit of a resurgence. And some people really, really love the ROM comics from the early 80s. And
Right.
that's cool. Yeah, love what you love. It's all good. I did not read them as a kid. And yeah, it's like a little crossover, but it doesn't always feel completely organic. So we will see. David adds, a love-struck Romeo sings a street song serenade. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. We'll go into Dire Straits songs another time. The amazing Dire Straits. There you go. Okay.
The amazing Dire Straits.
Yes, they're awesome. She's soaked to the skin before she takes a dozen steps, but she doesn't care. Aurora only wants to be as far as possible, as fast as possible from Eagle Plaza. And the man who lives atop this gleaming 100-story skyscraper, Forge, a man she might have loved, the man who destroyed her. A Stan Lee presentation starring the Uncanny X-Men, right? We got Claremont as writing, Romita and Green as artists, which often denotes that there's a little bit of a collaboration on some of the details, might be more Dan Green than otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the regular team of Tom Orzechowski and Clint Sween on letters and colors, respectively. And Nesenti's still editor for the time being. We've seen, of course, Louise Jones moved off the title a few months back, but I think she's still kind of in the group because she's working with New Mutants, going to be on a few other side projects, so she's still part of the creative side, even though she's not doesn't have a name on the book. Like, it's an okay splash. It does what it needs to do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is again, and we talked about this with the last issue 186 and Barry Windsor Smith on art about how a bit jarring it was, but in a positive way, from the previous issue, just to get used to his art style, and then going back, it's just as jarring returning to JRJR. Nothing against that art style, but it's just so different.
Yeah, and the pace was really different. The last issue in 186, it was a double-sized issue, and the fact that also Chris Claremont is co-writer with Barry Windsor Smith on that comic, the pace of it is that of, it's much more cinematic and slow, and it was really great for the story they were trying to tell, and it did not feel like a monthly superhero adventure series. Yeah.
Right.
By the way, this Mario Brothers ad, like, this is, like, this is where my mind is still when people say like they're fans of Mario. I'm like, those guys? Of course, that's Luigi.
The plumbers?
But it's there's nothing more going on in the story to me than just about this. And it's just a sign of my age. Oh my gosh.
Did you have an Atari?
I did not have an Atari, but I played on them with friends. I think my first game, we had an Atari computer, not the game system, but like a full computer, and so we had a few games and a couple cartridges to go with it. But my first game system that was like isolated as a game system was, I think, 1988. I got a Nintendo.
Yeah, nice.
Like, David is going into these lyrics. And he's putting all this thought in, but I'm not going to sing these for you, David. Like, this is so beautiful. Laying Monroe low with the neutralizer that he made. Forge is the love-struck Romeo now. Yeah, or Romeo. You're hilarious, and I'm so glad you're doing this, but I'm just not in a singing mood. And you just need to be here and like just join the live stream and come on the show and just sing all these songs. We get to write the lyrics. Anyway, let's keep going. I'll dive down this rabbit hole. You never have to apologize, David. It's perfect. Wrapped in bleak and bitter thoughts, senses deadened by the torrential rain, Aurora does not notice a flash of light from the lobby. Of course, by the way, the fact that she's like walking in a storm that she can't control is like a, some good subtext there. Or is it really just text? I guess it's text.
It's bitter.
It's very on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
But from a kid's point of view, I think it's kind of subtle,
Totally.
She doesn't notice the flash of light from the lobby, nor the creature that materializes within. Oh, look at that thing. It is a dire wraith.
Whatever that
One
is.
of a race of sorcerous aliens whose goal is the subjugation of humankind. Its mission is to determine the extent and effectiveness of Forge's defenses. In that, it is quite successful. Wow. Got turned to ash, bro.
Yeah, who got turned to ash?
That Dire Wraith.
Oh, I see. Right.
He had a
Because
mission to figure out how good were his defenses.
gotcha. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
And it's now Ash.
Yeah, he's dead.
I think, are they all she's, by the way?
She's dead. I think you're right.
Do you remember last time they were she's?
I think you're right. Yeah.
And there's the alarm goes off. An alarm! I thought I heard a scream, but it may just have been the wind. Nothing appears out of the ordinary.
Inspector Mathis, FBI. We're assigned to protect Forge.
Glad to see you. It's been a wild night. Come on in.
Many thanks, officer.
What the? You're not human!
How perceptive.
The barbed tongue stabs the core of Joe Huntley's brain. That's a new band's name, right? Joe Huntley's Brain?
First appearance, Joe Huntley, R.I.P., by the way.
Yeah, R.I.P. Joe. Mr. Huntley.
187 just went up in price.
Clanga, 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 clanga. Yeah, man, that's like it's some sort of like fire alarm. You know what I mean? That's a bell ringing. It is some kind of onomatopoeia. I agree. It's pretty heavy there. Poor Joe Huntley. There is a moment of exquisite agony, savored by the Wraith. Then oblivion, as she absorbs his memories, his identity, his form. Forge's sensors do not react when the Wraith crosses the lobby to the main security console. To them, Joe is as human as he ever was.
Oh, Joe.
Yep, the security looks at him and same as he ever was.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Same as he ever was.
Joe Huntley.
Same as he ever was.
That's gross.
Joe, this is Forge.
Yes, sir?
I just got an intruder alert on my status board.
False alarm, boss. Dang storms triggering glitches throughout the system. Not to fret, though. Everything's under control.
Keep me posted, will you, Joe?
Can do, sir. Good night. I have neutralized all internal defenses. Whoops, excuse me, hold on. This is the Wraith. It's still speaking in Joe's voice.
Still speaking in Joe's voice.
I have neutralized all internal surveillance and defensive systems below Forge's residence. He is blind to any Wraith presence, my sisters, and unable to do us harm. What the hell is happening in there? So hard to tell, I can barely see. Why even bother or care? This is no concern of mine. I should leave well enough alone and be on my way. Eh? Something's behind me. Goddess! What is it?
What is it?
It's a pile of ketchup.
It's a meat. Pile of meat.
Creature reeks of evil, as foul and as vile as the brood. Ah, see, they were listening to you guys. Talking about that brood thing before, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Storm knows. Its touch almost more than I can bear.
Your curiosity will cost you dear, human. Struggle is futile. Escape impossible. Soon you'll be naught but a memory. And we, as aliens, use words like naught. And I shall stand in your place.
No! She gets that leg up, and wow.
She does.
Good thing she got those shoes on. Yeah, you got that leg. I mean, that's getting your knee above your head. I mean, getting your foot above your head is one thing. Getting your knee above your head, I mean, that's anyway. Bright lady be praised. This horror can be hurt. It dropped me. From what it said, its power must be akin to rogues. Only it slays its victims. And that is a JRJR running pose if I've ever seen one.
Right.
He is one of the best at getting a character in the running pose. That's excellent. He's really good at that. No telling how quickly it moves, or whether there are others nearby. The safest place to run is Forge's building. Nice. And then we get this huge ad for an upcoming graphic novel called Dazzler the Movie. And there's that like racial slur that they made up for mutants.
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard all the Taylor Swift rumors about this?
Sorry, what? No.
Oh yeah, we're talking Taylor Swift now. Did you know that was going to happen?
Okay.
So there has been talk for I don't know, 6 months or more.
Okay. I found this on the web for what? No, check it out.
What, Siri? I didn't even say anything. That's you through the computer.
Nice. Anyway,
on my phone.
Anyway, there's rumors that in the Deadpool movie, that of course Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
That Taylor Swift is going to play the role of Dazzler as one of those like small characters in the movie.
Wow.
And not only is this a really great like marketing fun thing to do, and
sure,
cross-pollination of basically just helps the movie with more fans and new fans. Both Jackman and Reynolds were seen like at the football game with her. So it just really got things going. And for collectors like me who have a couple copies of her first appearance, have a copy of her first appearance and a couple copies of Dazzler number 1.
Dazzler.
It's like an exciting possibility that there'll be crazy skyrocketing prices on her issues if if Taylor Swift plays her. And David makes a good point. Taylor Swift is a mutie? What happens next will affect every living mutant forever.
Get ready.
Yeah, man. It's
Are you ready?
Crazy.
Exactly.
So there have been lots of mock-ups of like Taylor Swift in Dazzler costumes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's you should look it up. It's a thing.
I think we're gonna get the. I know that they wrapped filming on that, didn't they? They announced the other day.
I don't know.
They've wrapped filming on Deadpool 3. So that's this year, or is it next year?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see it in the chat. Maybe later this year. Chuck says, did not have Taylor Swift as Dazzler on my bingo card for tonight. Yeah, that would be hilarious, by the way. I'd love to see your bingo card one day, but I would hate it to influence the direction that this goes naturally. July it's coming out, Chuck
July,
says?
Deadpool 3.
Whoa.
Well, then we will likely be seeing some kind of trailer teaser soon, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm both very excited, but quietly really hoping it's going to be a good movie. I don't want to see Hugh Jackman return and not be kick-ass. Anyway, David says, I might be wrong. Wasn't there like a mocked-up record sleeve with Tay-Tay as Dazzler that was meant to be seen in X-Men Apocalypse? I don't know, David. That is hilarious, though. Might have been a dream I had. Maybe. If you find it, while we're doing this, feel free to send it to me through Facebook or something.
But it would be only better if it was the 80s short hair Dazzler look with the jacket.
No, man. It's got to be the...
Oh, like the 70s roller girl?
Yeah. Or it's like 1980, right around then.
I don't know. I kind of like the short hair of the
with
jacket.
the feathered hair.
Yeah.
The silver. Oh, come on.
No, they're
roller
both...
skates,
I'll say they're both good looks.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. There's a scene with the Young Mutants at the mall where I think you're supposed to see that. Well, there was a scene in not X-Men Apocalypse, but in, of course, Dark Phoenix, where Dazzler is singing at the party, having a bonfire.
She plays at the X-Men party.
Yeah, there's a bonfire, so we see her, and it is fully like Dazzler with the face makeup anyway, like the Kiss style eye makeup, like that's going on there. Oh, hello there, Kevin, toying around. How are you, sir?
Well.
Hope you're doing well, and hope you've got a Scorpion figure. Kevin's looking for a retro card Scorpion, Marvel Legends Scorpion. I hope you found one.
Okay.
All right. There is no... Oh, that's your line. Sorry, dude.
There is no help for you here, mammal. This place, like its master, will soon belong to the Dire Wraiths.
A crumpled uniform. A pile of dust. The guard? Oh, the poor man. You will not die unavenged, my friend, who she's never met.
Right. Joe! Your weapon is empty, and though I am sorely wounded, your life essence will restore.
I'm so glad you did that. Ugh! The wraith disintegrating. By all that is holy, the stench is worse than a charnel pit. What's a charnel pit?
Yeah, I was trying to pronounce that. Is it? I mean, it's not carnal, but would it be like Chronos, like CH? I was trying to figure that out. Anyway,
I don't know how one pronounces that.
okay, hold on. Let me just do a quick search here. Carnal pit.
Charnel pit.
Charnel. Sorry, you're right. Carnal pit's something else. That's for a different show. Okay. A charnel house. Is a vault. Is a vault or building where human skeletal remains are stored. They are often built near churches for depositing bones that are unearthed.
Oh man, Chuck says charnel is a Claremont favorite.
Gross.
It's nice to find new tropes of his, like as we're going through in kind of not real time, but in order. Whereas, like maybe Chuck, I don't think we've come across it yet.
I don't think so.
Usually, when we find a new word, it stops us in our tracks. Clearly, so we'll get to see over the next 100 issues how many more charnels we get. Ugh. Disgusting. It was shot, but who? Look at that. I mean, that's a good drawing of those of the things like just disgusting.
Name's Naze. You okay, ma'am?
I cannot fault your timing or your aim. Thank you.
Glad to be of help. What was that critter anyway?
A dire wraith.
And your
Aurora. The guard's body means that the other people I saw must be wraiths as well. They must be after Forge.
That explains my dreams.
Hmm?
I'm ashamed. Last night I saw the eagle fighting for his life atop the Eyrie, struck down by those who seemed to be trusted friends and yet were not.
The wraiths are shape stealers.
Aurora, Forge is the last best hope of my people, perhaps yours. He must be saved.
Forge!
Aurora, what? Good Lord!
Well, one cadre pours from the elevator, filling the air with their dread enchantments. Another strikes from the sky, in the guise of flame-breathing death wings. Yeah, okay.
Okay. What's
and
that?
They come through the windows. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And that design of these bird things, isn't it from something else?
I'm going to say ROM, Space Knight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, David, okay, there's a few things here. Chuck, back to Charnel. It came up in Annual 4, Nightcrawler's Inferno. Okay, good. I mean, wow, amazing pull there. And then David adds, the full story of how my brain got to a Swift Dazzler album cover is in your inbox, Jason.
Oh, that's something to look forward to.
Yes, I look forward to it for sure. Thank you. I see it there in my notifications, and I just can't like multitask too many things at one time. So
that's what these remind me of. I was trying in my head. These remind me of the things that pop out of the planet thing, island thing in the New Frontier.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking
about? Yes.
Yeah, not all of them, but like the giant, just the birds with the long kind of pterodactyl look to it.
Okay, I'm just looking at this album cover that David sent. Dazzler, Sounds of Light and Fury. So there's a scene where he's holding a Bill S. Dazzler cover, like Bill Sienkiewicz. My brain took the Taylor rumor and put it on that record. Fair. Then there's all the articles about Taylor being in the movie, and that there is some kind of behind the scenes photo when she came to set.
Oh, I see. Point. Yeah.
In X-Men Apocalypse. I don't know if that's a real photo, if it's been doctored, who knows, but tons of fun. The idea, I mean, it would be hilarious if she's in the movie.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, it reminds New Frontier. Sure, there's all these kind of creatures that these dinosaur-esque alien creatures that spawn from the center.
The center, that's it. Yeah.
The center cannot hold. But they also remind me very much of like the Dave Cockrum alien bird things that we saw. Back when the Brood were on Earth. Like it's not so far off.
All right.
Do you want to flip pages?
Yeah, here we go.
Too late.
So what now?
We go to his rescue.
Been a while since I was in a decent scrap. I'm long overdue.
I have a friend who would consider you a man after his own heart. I wish he was here.
We'll do fine. Especially the way you shoot.
So she's like pulling the gun belt from the ash that
of Joe.
was once Joe Huntley.
Yeah. Who works at the button factory. That's right.
Yeah. My friend taught me. Wolverine. I have my powers to protect me, and I have sworn never again to take another's life. Why should I learn to use this? Because you never know when that knowledge will come in handy, darling. A gun's the last thing anyone expects from you. Someday, that might give you the edge you need to survive.
That day's today.
Yeah, and here Ramita Jr. is drawing those eyelashes and eyebrows that are like that were from the Barry Windsor Smith art last time.
Mm-hmm.
That I wasn't sure if they were makeup or if they were like what I don't know what they're supposed to be, because there was a broken line between them and her eye. Like they weren't extensions of her eyelash. They were literally like they stopped before they reached her eyeball.
Right.
So I don't know. Whatever. It's all good.
You know Forge?
Yes.
You do not like him.
No.
You are here, risking your life?
I have my reasons. His fate is mine alone to decide. Until I have my vengeance, I will allow none to do him harm.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that, of course, Storm is on the opposite page on that ad in her previous form.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like so old school and wholesome by comparison.
Such a different look.
Yeah.
I mean, how often can you redesign a character to have, another iconic look that is, again, just so opposed to the initial one,
Sure. I think
and
comic creators wish it was every time, but it definitely is not.
Yeah.
Things would be so much simpler if I still possessed my elemental powers. But thanks to Forge, that part of me is gone forever. I have only my wits, my strength, my human skills to rely on. That Wraith has left as a rear guard. Sorry, that Wraith was left as a rear guard? Is that what she's saying? Assuming it had some means of communication with its companions, they probably know of its death. I wonder what surprises they have in store for us. You get this wacko face there. And you can see like the magenta plate over areas of black just for like ease of coloring, like to do it faster. Upon their arrival on Earth, Wraith sorcery was used to mutate ordinary dogs into demonic hellhounds capable of disrupting the function of any machine or living being simply by phasing through it. Ah! So you're telling me this was a dog?
This is supposed to be a dog?
Mutated?
I think so. I think it was your neighborhood pup.
I do not believe it. I cannot suspend my disbelief. It's a glancing blow, and although the effect is devastating, Aurora still lives. However, as the creature moves in to finish her...
Yeah. These critters aren't as tough as they look.
Easy for you to say. Again, Naze, I am in your debt.
Save Forge, woman. I'll consider us even.
Like, she's hurt from that, but like not actually gutted or anything.
Right.
It just
I
phased
guess
through
it's the
her.
same thing, like when Kitty phases maybe through some and it disrupts her
Yeah,
nerves or something.
it is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me that Storm is still in those stiletto heels. Yeah, it's just, you know, of course, any action star, like, those things are coming off long before they go barefoot and be badass. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly,
Aurora, look out! Witchfire.
because that's a thing people say.
Right.
Before she can react to the old Cheyenne's warnings, Aurora finds herself bound and yanked into the air.
Aurora!
The cable! Again, that's the inspiration for the character. Cable.
These
Just
cables.
random words that get said.
Here.
Yeah, there was actually another character who was called Elevator Shaft, which then just got shortened to Shaft, but that went for another company.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true. Attached to the elevator's counterweights. They are falling, dragging me with them. Only seconds to act before I am crushed against the top of the shaft. See? Right arm is useless. Must take the strain off the line. My gun! I manage to snag hold. If I can untangle my legs, picking up speed, how close to the roof am I? Forget about that. I either have sufficient time or I do not. Whoa. It's really hard, I think, to draw all the little things that are kind of happening. So you just got to pour it into the dialogue, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Free! I cannot help laughing. I feel so alive. This is the same mad, wondrous joy my friend Yukio feels. To risk all against seemingly impossible odds and win. Time to let go. Momentum will carry me a bit further on. Then, before I begin to fall, I can catch a girder and pull myself to safety. What a ride. We should name another X-Men character Girder.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gangplank.
And look at this. This is for you, Chuck. I should have disposed of these shoes in the lobby. The heels are sure to break my ankles. Look at you. You knew it the whole time. I bet you Chuck's read this before. Barry Mitchell, hey, how are you? Welcome. Barry says, Paul Smith's first Uncanny run was great. His second was unfortunately horrible, but luckily only a few issues. I'm looking forward to coming across more Paul Smith regardless, but we are soon going to be reading the X-Men Alpha Flight two-parter, which is each one's like a double-sized issue, so it's more like a four-parter. But I'm always down for some more Paul Smith X-Men.
Yeah.
Especially with Alpha Flight. I spent most of my life barefoot. It still feels quite natural to me and quite comfortable. No sign of the Wraith or Naze. I cannot wait, nor can I help him. Forge needs me more. Be careful, old one. May your gods walk with you.
Trail's clear. I didn't hear her body fall. Aurora must have cut herself loose. Good for her. She's a warrior. Born a match I'd wager for his evil himself. What'd that fool do to make her his enemy? He's been among the whites too long, that is problem. He's lost all sense of courtesy. All sense, period, looks like. To be 20 years younger, I'd not let a prize like Aurora slip through my fingers, because of course it would all be up to me. I'd give my foster son a run for her heart. He'd never forget.
Of course. And, you know, she's the object, right? She's a prize to be won.
And has been since day one with Claremont to an extent.
Yeah, you know, not to make excuses, but more to explain that that is pretty apt for the times.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Doesn't excuse it. Okay, Chuck says he hasn't read the issue. I'm only teasing, buddy. And you know.
Only emergency lights. Someone must have sabotaged the building generators. Things will probably be worse than the stairs. The darkness may hide the wraiths from my eyes, but not my mind. I can sense their presence with my own magics. One of them's inside.
Ah!
Got it. Oh, cocky! I really hope I was totally wrong there. I don't know. Be proud, my ancestors. Our numbers may be few, but our hearts are strong. Come what may, we will prevail.
That was good. I wonder what the pronunciation, like
Right.
Hokaki, or who knows, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, that was a tough one. These doors, ice cold to the touch. That should not be. Bright lady, a blizzard? Impossible. We are too far south. A tempest such as this should not even occur in midwinter. Fool, I let my guard drop. The wraiths have found me. I've come too far, fought too hard to yield or lose.
Aye, the accursed cold. It saps my strength. I cannot maintain my spells. Hellhound, the human is yours. Slay her.
Need weapon, but visibility almost nil. Wind cutting my skin, blowing against me. Cannot hear anything from behind. Construction equipment. If I can grab that length of pipe. Ha! That deals with the wraith's pet. My hands, they froze to the metal. Light summer frock, no protection. Must get to shelter. Arrgh! Just looking here. Barry says, greetings, everyone. Love reviewing great classic X-Men. Back with you. Only got one fix a month. Back when you got only one fix a month. Other than miniseries guest appearances and annuals, of course. Rum Space Knight. Cool comic. So, this Bright Lady thing. Did Storm become Catholic when she came back from Japan? Yes, she did. Did you read that miniseries? There was a Storm miniseries where she went on some kind of journey and now she's Catholic. No, I'm not sure about that. Do you think when she says Bright Lady, she's specifically making a Christian reference? Or is there more to it that it can be interpreted as... I don't know. I'm backing down. Here we go. In that instant, Aurora becomes an animal herself, bereft of all thought or desire, save flight from the awful senses, shattering agony of the Hellhound's touch. She stumbles into space, automatically spreading her arms wide to catch the wind, part of her shrieking in vain that her powers are gone, that she cannot fly, only to be scooped up by a freak gust and cast back onto the roof. Like, that would have been something cool to see. Like, show her jump off and like the wind take her right back, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what even, you're saying at the beginning with the storm that she's walking through and is not controlling. Like the amount of weather patterns that they face in this issue, whether it's a gust of wind or a blizzard or whatever, is all meant to be this for her to run the gauntlet without her having control over those particular elements, because she would normally.
Every bone shattered, organs leaking vital fluid, slight headache, loss of appetite. Sorry.
And some ether. Exactly.
My luck, it seems, has not deserted me. Hardly due after that to perish of cold. This is a weirdly phrased.
Mm-hmm.
The hound is dead. Really? It's magic. Like, I don't even see where it died. I'm so confused about that. The hound is dead. Its master must have retreated inside. I have no choice but to follow, and nowhere else to go. I'm just gonna pause for a sec. This issue was like starting out to be almost like a Die Hard kind of thing,
right?
Where there's this tower. She's got to get to the guy she's trying to save, and she's totally outnumbered, outpowered.
Mhm.
kind of wounded.
It's
There's a
Christmas.
guy, either Naze or Argyle, who might be a help or might not be a help. Who knows? And then she's got to kind of go, run the gauntlet of going through all these monsters to reach the prize. Like, this could have been the coolest Die Hard comic of all time. And it is weird. It is.
It's very
I
weird.
find it it starts and stops. It's hit and miss. Her descriptions, all these loss of appetite, this is a little over the top, or way over the top. Only a few steps to doorway. Might as well be miles. Legs heavy as lead. They do not want to move. If I could rest just for a minute. Is this then what I truly am? A woman so dependent on her mutant abilities that she cannot survive without them? Stop complaining, Aurora. Walk!
I have you.
The Wraith! Desperation gives Aurora the manic strength necessary to shove her foe aside and lock it out. She half expects the Wraith spells to rip the doors off their hinges, but there is merely a frantic pounding, pom, 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 that quickly fades away. Chuck says, this ish equals Die Hard plus final girl trope, but 4 years ahead of Die Hard. I have killed, without hesitation or mercy. Wolverine would be proud. Is this an ending? The farewell of storm that was? Or my new beginning? Oh! Without warning, Aurora's mind is crushed under an avalanche of thoughts not her own. She is no longer Aurora. Or even an individual. That means that reads, she is no longer Aurora or even an individual, but an amalgam of herself, Forge, Naze, Wraith, and one other human that is one other that is neither human nor alien, both alive and dead, possessing the divinity of a god and the cruel humor of the devil. Holy shit, what is going on?
Wraiths, man, that's what's going on.
Look at that picture. I gotta go throw up. That's disgusting. I do not like this. She feels a delicious terror as this mysterious other throws open the gates of chaos within her, then cries out as she realizes that her soul is gone. Yet surprisingly, she doesn't really miss it. What the hell is going on? For another's has taken its place. She reels under the merciless psychic onslaught, dimly aware that, awful as this trauma is for her, it is definitely worse for Forge. There's a devil, there's a doorway, there's no soul. I don't know what's happening.
It is very confusing.
Sensing their prey's sudden vulnerability, the Wraiths press their attack. Do they look like they're attacking? Or like waddling slowly?
Yeah, they're kind of slouching over there.
Only to discover that, while the Maker is helpless, his creations stand more than ready to defend him. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew.
Their spells ineffectual against Forge's technology. Some Wraiths transform into their Deathwing persona and spray the penthouse with blasts of acid flame. Ugh.
Oof.
This take one ad. It's like a dude on fire, a dude falling
great.
off a tiny building.
Although I think his head's on backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, his head's on backwards.
Yeah, his head's on backwards.
And there's just like just absolutely classic Romita Senior Spider-Man. Or whoever drew that. I mean, to me, that's a Romita Senior, but I might be wrong. That's just like great Marvel branding. Holding your own, I see.
Freeze! Not a move, Aurora, or I'll burn you where you stand. No reaction from my scandalizer. You're human.
Can I say the same about you? I suppose I must, since the battle still rages. Where are the lights?
First thing the race did was zap the generators, emergency systems. Are holding their own, but I've had to divert all power to maintain internal defenses. I'm glad to see you.
What just happened, Forge? Some entity bound us in a rapport, tried to drive us insane, I think simply for the fun of it.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I doubt that. How naturally you lie. I should be used to that by now.
Think what you like, Aurora. Your privilege. If you're not here to help, find a place to hide.
I promised Naze I would help save you, or I would save you.
Don't do me any favors, lady.
My word, Forge, is my bond. Much as I might wish otherwise, take cover! David says, and what other human? John, Willie, Brooklyn Bob, and Reggie. Yeah, even Reggie. He's not bad once you get to know him.
I know.
Acid Flame. Gary says, I did get this issue when it came out. I remember now that I did not like it very much. Like, it's not bad. It's just really weird.
It is weird.
It's uneven. I find it very uneven.
You missed. Despite our cloaking spells, the female sensed our presence. She must be eliminated. Scandalizer's working fine, but the race clouded my perception, so I didn't notice. That's how they got so close undetected. Aurora's no sorceress. How was she able to spot them? Uh-oh. They can deflect my blaster shots. You've proven a considerable nuisance, human.
The hand blaster, where is it?
This punishment should prove fittingly ironic.
The Wraith. Turning into me and me into one of them. It's an illusion. But how do I convince Forge?
Forge, that Wraith tried to get me. Destroy her before she can cast a spell. My pleasure.
You knew the truth?
It meant calling on a part of myself I've denied for 10 years. Abilities I swore never to use again. But I figured you were worth it. Nothing.
Okay, hold on. What does that mean? He called on a part of himself that he hasn't used for 10 years. He's got some ability, and that ability is that he can tell when a person is not being themselves, or
I guess
sense
so.
of smell. I mean, what was the
right? He's an empath,
right? I mean, is the idea that he has more senses?
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if that ever gets brought up again.
We already know he's a genius inventor and has a knack for it. He's already alluded to his mutant nature, which she didn't really believe in. So this is another part of it, I guess.
Or is it maybe like he has judgment, like death judgment. Like when someone deserves to die, he knows who to shoot.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He can see who needs to go and who doesn't. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna shoot this thing. Who knows? I'm wondering if it ever comes up again, or it's just a throwaway line.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Mitchell adds, "You figure after these issues, Forge would build a different area instead of, oops, almost spoiled fall of my bad. Almost spoiled fall. My bad, fellas. Yeah, meaning Fall of the Mutants. We'll get there. We got some months.
We will get there.
/ years. Yeah, we're trying. I mean, obviously these things are 40 years old. Like we can't hide from all spoilers. But I'm trying to protect young Chris here and not let him get too much ahead.
We feared the worst. Oh, ye of little faith! I taught you everything you know, boy, but not everything I know. Wow. Okay. We were caught in a soul link. If nothing happened to Naze, then what triggered a contact close by?
The building.
It's been hit by something big. Gangway suckers, X-Men coming through.
Colossus. Rogue.
Nice entrance. Couldn't you have used the door? We wanted to surprise y'all. Are you well, Aurora?
The better for seeing you, little brother. And Rogue.
We came as fast as we could. Sorry it took so long.
How did you know where to find me? Or that I was in danger?
Me and Val Cooper, Forge's boss, had a little talk. I don't work for her, kid. I got nothing to do with her outfit.
Another lie. Lords of Earth and Air.
Looks like they called up some reinforcements. How many of these yuccos are there?
Yuckos.
Each one we defeat, a score take its place. My spirit right? Yeah. My spirit right shows me the truth. Most of that is
Spirit
illusion.
sight.
Sight. There it is. Most of that is illusion. By tricking the X-Men into fighting things that aren't there, the real aliens will be able to catch them unawares. It's been too long since I used my own mystical abilities. They're too undependable. I don't dare risk it. I'll have to find some other way to combat their spells.
So that's it. Spirit sight.
Spirit sight.
That's
Whatever that
okay.
is, he's got it.
All right, David says, Forge's father is a medicine man, and Forge was supposed to follow in his footsteps. I feel like that's a trope.
Oh.
He learned a bunch of magic, but never uses it. Presumably, he's not great at it. Well, that dead Dire Wraith begs to differ, David. Man, I missed Chris's rogue voice. Welcome back. By the way, if you support us on our Patreon that doesn't exist, Chris will phone your answering machine and read your grocery list in any X-Men accent that is your fetish. I mean, that you prefer. And it's a really great tier when you become one of our backers on Patreon. It doesn't exist. David Cutler, his dad guards a door. Hold on. Are you spoiling stuff that's coming? Because we don't need to know this yet, right? Like this is down the road. I don't want to spoil Fall of the Mutants or something else. His dad guards a door to an evil spirit realm, maybe? So Forge knows how to suss out shapeshifter tricksters, I guess. Barry says, I don't feel so bad now, David. So David just spoils like
so much of Forge.
Yeah, I mean, everything X-Men does rely on that one idea that Forge's dad is guarding a spirit realm. And Forge can suss out tricksters. You're the trickster, aren't you? There you go.
That's right.
We are at the
top panel, right? Yeah.
Sure. Tricking the X-Men, unawares, combat spells. Some of the penciling in that, or some, I should say, some of the inking on that last page, I thought did not look as much like Ramita Dan Green as I would have expected.
Maybe it's Dan Green, yeah.
Meanwhile,
this is the Eagle's Nest, Forge's Sanctum Sanctorum, the seat and nexus of his might. Most impressive. His power is almost beyond comprehension. He's a fool to deny it. Wow.
Your metalloid form will not save you, Terran. Nothing that lives can withstand our power.
It's Dutch, like acid burning into my brain.
Struggling too much. No chance for a clear shot. Hit it, Peter. Hard as you can, or you are lost. Immediately, the young Russian lashes out with the force of a pile driver.
Snaps that thing right up. So just as we return to those top panels, just about talking a little more about Forge's power set. Mentions his Sanctum Sanctorum, which is, Doctor Strange's, spot. And then he says his power is almost beyond comprehension. It's like, okay, it's so it's not just a I don't know, a mid-level powered up individual. Seems like there might be more there.
Yes.
More than meets the eye, to be exact.
This page does feel a little rushed, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like skipping out on some of like the decor or the background, or I don't know, some kind of details that help us understand his Sanctum Sanctorum.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, look at the crazy marks on the next page. It feels like different art.
This page?
See what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally.
There's like some really heavy brushwork going on here. Aurora's blaster does the rest.
A gun? Storm, why did you not simply generate a lightning bolt?
You cannot utilize powers, Colossus, that no longer exist.
No. I was hoping, praying that wouldn't be so. It's my fault. Aurora sacrificed herself to save me. Huh? The room filled with golden light, like a sunrise.
And from the heart of that light, two gleaming figures emerge,
Ba-ba-da-bum.
clad in shining armor.
Ah, sister, behold! The humans have summoned the Silver Space Knight Rom and his paramour, Starshine!
She's so hot, Starshine.
Oh.
Oh my god. Faced with their arch enemies, the Wraiths dispel their lesser enchantments to focus all their energies on this new threat, which is precisely what Forge hoped they'd do. Holograms?
My mind immediately went to just to throw some CanCon in there. I mean, you're gonna just not like this, but I was thinking Starshine. It's like, oh, Starseed by Our Lady Peace. I mean, I think it's that song.
Yeah, it's her theme song.
Mid-90s. It just blasts in the background while they arrive.
Yeah.
Wow. Good on you, Our Lady Peace. All right, sorry. You said
holograms?
Wraiths have their illusions. I have mine. I think these two wraiths were the last. Then we win.
Perhaps. Has anyone seen Naze? Unnoticed, the fabric of reality tears wide, and the battle is suddenly, unexpectedly rejoined. Only this time, it may be over before it's truly begun.
Bum, bum, bum.
What the heck? Next, Legacy of the Lost. I do not know what's going on.
What the heck is going on?
I do not know. Barry says, there's a rule. Nice to know. My apologies, everyone. Oh, Barry, don't you worry about it. There is not really any rule. There's just the reality that Chris has yet to read X-Men comics beyond this point, essentially. So we are on a journey to go together through all the Chris Claremont X-Men or Uncanny X-Men. So we've got another 100 issues to go. And we are really enjoying sort of seeing it in that month by month evolution, right? And then finding things that really connected to the movies and inspired the TV shows, and things that have lasted and things that have not. Like, does Rom the Space Knight have a long legacy with X-Men? After this, no, not really. So it's kind of fun to see when things really do click and when they don't. And we're enjoying kind of reading it in somewhat real time, in that we are going in chronological order. So not getting too far ahead. But those big plot points are definitely not the focus, I think, of our surprise. We're more interested, I think, in maybe how characters are portrayed, or
for sure. And I'll forget too.
Yeah. Yeah, you will forget.
You can say next issue this happens, I'll be like, that's wild, and then I'll read it for the first time and be like, I don't remember that. So pretty good.
For sure. Trevor 16 Shooter is here. Transforger, more than meets the eye. That one I sang.
Exactly. Good job.
That one I sang. There you go. Barry adds, just to illustrate the power of a pole driver, was working across the bay where they were driving pile for a new bridge when thousands of fish floated up killed by the vibrations from the pike driver.
Ooh,
Pile
pile
driver.
driver.
Yeah. I mean, it's a yes, pile driver. Yes. And David says, and I'm on a journey to spoil that for Chris. So there's a conflict.
That's right.
Thanks, David.
Honestly.
You and I are less focused on continuity than we are on sort of like the overall storytelling trends, the tone, and character development. You know. And Barry says, "Cool. I'll make this show must see Tuesday viewing, fella. Yeah, please do. We're really happy to have you here, and glad that you're throwing your 2 cents in the chat. It's always a treat to hear from everyone in the chat. I wasn't sure how this one was going to play out, given that's our first one in what feels like 3 weeks, maybe, kind of a first regular episode since we had a juggernaut of an episode with issue 196. I mean, we had a lot of views, which has been really, really lovely. So happy about that. Chris, you doing okay? So I should just say for people out there, you arrived back at home last night, right?
Sure did.
So you are still probably 6 or 7 hours ahead. 6 hours ahead?
Something like that.
So it's like 4 a.m. right now?
Might be 3. I don't know. What does time mean anymore? You know,
Time.
Space.
Well, you should go to bed. It has been a blast.
Yeah,
we are going to continue, of course, next week with our next episode of Previously in X-Men, where we'll be reading issue 188 to find out what those black shape-shifting cloud things are, see what they do to our favorite X-Men here. And then whenever there's an interruption story, we've got an episode coming summarizing the highlights of the Kitty Pryde Wolverine Limited Series, which is taking place concurrently with this. Those 2 characters are obviously not in these stories, and they're off in Japan on an adventure. And then we very quickly hop into X-Men Alpha Flight, which is incredibly formative comics for me. My first X-Men comics.
And I have that one in a collection, so that's cool.
I'm very excited for you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to do some sort of illegal screen grab thing to get those pages for this show, because I don't think I have a DVD-ROM PDF of it already.
There's that word again, ROM. There's that word.
See, they are tied together. The legacy of X-Men. Yes, the legacy of X-Men is tied with ROM forever in CD-ROM. Chris, do you know what this is?
Yes, I do. That's a bat. And it looks.
Do you know what it stands for?
Oh, hold on. Let me think if I can think about it. So G.I. Joe, bat.
Yes.
It's a robot.
But another word for robot that starts with an A.
Another assault?
No, another word for like another kind of, not a robot, but it's something.
Android.
Oh, that's the A in bats.
Is it like battle android?
And there are many of them. They make up like a whole legion or
troop.
Battle android trooper.
There you
go.
Got it.
Nice, eh? Yeah.
I do. I remember. And it's nice that they could. There's so many they could just destroy them all, right? So that's good.
Yes, Sergeant Slaughter. You'd like take one and just swing them around. You can pick up, of course, our comics at our website, which is group7comics.ca, and of course the number 7 is the number, like so. You can get our first graphic novel, A Most Secret Tale, and then we've got more comics coming, including we're restarting Peregrine's Badlands on Instagram daily. 3 panels a day, created in under an hour. That'll be restarting. I don't know, tomorrow maybe. What do you want to do it tomorrow?
Like that. We're pretty close. We're towards the end. It's at the last third, so the third act. We're good.
It's exciting stuff, and I'm so excited when we finally do the completed version of this, not just the Ungalem version. But yeah, it's so much fun. Good times ahead. Follow us on socials. You can see our addresses are here for mostly Instagram and Twitter and such, which I'm not on anymore, but yeah. And you can follow, of course, at Group of 7 Comics. Is probably the best place to find us. This show does have a dedicated Instagram which I need to start posting on more, called Previously in X-Men on Instagram. But there you go. Barry says, "Take care, all. Miss my old comics, but it's nice to know they will always live on." Yeah, man, they're out there, and we can go into X-Men all day long. So they're forever, right? They don't go away. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. And Chris, I'm glad you're home safe and sound. Hope you get some good rest. And we'll see you guys next week on Previously in X-Men. Until then,
stay Xy.
Stay Xy. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, David. Thanks, Barry. Thanks, David again. And Trevor 16 Shooter was here that was awesome. You gotta check out his stuff on Instagram. He's so good. Gary Shipman was here tonight. That's awesome. We had a quick hop in from Kevin from Toying Around. Hope I didn't miss anybody.
Massimo.
Mass was here. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was here from the beginning. Look at that. All right, there you go. Anything else, Chris?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, stay Xy. That's terrible.
Stay Xy.
See you next time. Thanks, everybody. Stay Xy.